Bring out your bless RNGs for RRR. It's been a tough evening for them this this night. Yesterday they got 3-0'd as well, so momentum definitely not in their favor. Morale not so high. You can see the looks on their faces, especially Kong looks a little bit upset. Remember, Kong is a top 4 player for a long time in HGC, right. So or not even in HGC, in Super League. So he's not used to being on a team that's getting this battered for the time being. They got perfect gamed in the last map, so definitely feels bad, man, right now. But the series isn't over. If they can pull it back together, maybe they can pull out the W. It is going to be the map pick for Miracle, though, as usual. Tomb of the Spider Queen will be the map here.
And Tomb of the Spider Queen, and we're talking about 3 ex-TNL members here. I'm very excited. Maybe this time they will be the one picking Stitches and showing how it's supposed to be done, as the old TNL members are joined together, of course, of only 3. But Jaehyun, of course, playing pretty nicely on the back line. Not really... He didn't really have to Ancestral too much because they were so ahead. They were not really even losing too much health in the front line. But let's see the draft a little bit more as we get into Spider Queen.
He had one really good Ancestral, though, so...
At the very end? Or right before?
In like maybe around like level 12, 13. Like there was one time where he had the Ancestral, and it was really well timed. He got it. That was the most memorable one. But yeah, I mean, like you said, it wasn't really very necessary most of the time. So, you know, more interested in looking at the faces of the members of RRR right now than I am for the ban they're going to pick right now, because they look beaten already. Vala will be first banned yet again. We saw this already on Cursed Hollow.
Okay, Miracle does not fool around here. They don't even want to fool around and just let them take Genji.
Insta-locked.
Genji ban again and again.
So, for RRR, they're going to take the Anubarak again. I like this pick. First picked it in the previous map.
It is the best, and though it's not working perfectly or 200% for them, it's also taking away from the other side. Yes! Bikini Stitches.
Bikini Stitches!
And it's from Miracle. I wanted this to happen. Nostalgia coming back from Super League 2016.
Well, it's also going to be the Uther pick, which could allow them to do this with an Illidan comp. 3 for 3. Could see it. Wouldn't be shocking to me. Not with the Malfurion, but obviously Uther's follow-up routes can be very good. So RRR going to take the Greymane here and the Li Ming. So 2 comfort pick heroes for Oduk and for EGG. So get their DPSs, the ones that they wanted. And it's actually, with this draft for RRR right now, it's tough to target ban anything for Miracle right now. Malfurion would be the safe ban, quote unquote. But with how RRR drafts and how much we've seen Tekla play the other supports, the Rhaegar, the Kharazim, not even really necessarily a strong ban, just a safe one.
Or depending on if they want to go Illidan once more.
Could ban the Arthas.
Exactly.
If that's their plan. The Arthas ban would be pretty telling, but not much that RRR can do about it if that's the path they want to go down. They could, if they ban the Arthas, we could see the Illidan ban, but it's going to be Ragnaros' ban, which has been something that we've seen RRR use in open division on this map to delay turn-ins of the gems.
And also Taika's last game took chunks of HP off with the bigger they are talent. Taking at 4, it just took all the HP off from Anubarak and the secondary tank they had. It's very rough for MSG to tank all the damage, so they're considering Taika's ban right now, which is not too bad also, because the root follow-up after the hook with the minigun, you have a solid 1 second plus to do all that damage into anyone you grab it.
You already also have 2 DPSs on your team. You take a third one away. Ragnaros' ban. You're limiting the amount of wave clear that Miracle can have, the DPS they can have. I wonder if Miracle will consider running their first Vala composition here now.
The Vala's already banned.
Oh, that's right, sorry.
So I think this is about time we see...
Yeah, Vala's banned too, so I'm like, well, what is this, a Nazebo game maybe? Or
Sergeant Hammer.
Sergeant Hammer?
The old favorite of Crazy Moving. I think this is the time.
Crazy Moving's Raynor? I don't think so.
How old are we going back? But I think Sergeant Hammer is not really in the meta, even from Korea. It has been disappearing a lot, but only at these kind of times when all the DPSs are gone or locked away. Sergeant Hammer seems to be the one that popped up for Miracle, especially with Crazy moving on the hero. Let's see if he comes out again.
Well, definitely a lot of thought going into this one with all these DPSs removed. Kael'thas makes another appearance. This time Miracle play it for the first time, and Cassia. So this is, at least from the way it's looking so far, not going to be the Illidan draft.
For sure. And of course, KT provides some more CC with the gravity laps. With the hook, we saw it happening lots of the times. Also in previous matches. Cassia for the pokes too, to really cancel all that channeling from turning in all those gems.
Poke's really strong, very good against Greymane. Not as much against Li Ming. The blinds could be very powerful though. Malfurion, we knew that was likely to be the case, and Dahaka will come in as the sub-tank here for the split push power, gem collection.
I like the draft from Triple R, but it seems very old to me for some reason. It's very balanced. It's got the global. It has all the defensive and the burst damage with Greymane and Li Ming, and Malfurion, of course, the top chart. But it feels a little bit old to me right now.
I can see what you're saying. Well, for Miracle, they've got 2 ranged DPS and Stitches. We could just see the Arthas follow-up. Could be the Muradin. You know, otherwise, you're really not looking for more DPS here. Trying to think of other heroes they could maybe bring in if they want to do something unusual. Zeratul is still available if you want to run solo tank Stitches. Very risky to do, especially on this map.
Or
ETC, too, an opportunity.
Yep, of course, Judy is a great ETC player, too.
Sonya!
We're going to see Dami Sonya back into play again. Wow, they have so much damage. One hook will be kill 100%.
Oh, man. Imagine you get the fend on top of the hook with the Kael'thas gravity laps and Sonya's ancient spear, and Uther just whacks him with the hammer. Oh, it's going to be dirty. A lot of ifs, though, if they could connect these. I like the draft of both teams, but mechanically, Miracle has been making the better rotations, the better decision-making. They are grouped together better. The morale seems very low on the side of RRR, especially Kong, head in hands. Can they bring it back here? Can they take this momentum away from Miracle? Feels unlikely, but they've got one more shot here on Tomb of the Spider Queen. In blue, Oduk on Greymane, MSG on Anub, EDG on Li Ming, Kong on Dahaka, and Tekaluk on Malfurion.
And in red, MVP Miracle, Judy on Stitches, Dami on Sonya, Jaehyun on Uther, C moving on Kael'thas, and Sniper on Cassia.
Okay. Sniper has actually played
Convection.
no games of Cassia so far in his career. This is going to be his first. And Kael'thas, yeah, going for the convection. Not a crazy amount of risk when you're only really dealing with a dive with Nubarak. But, you know, we'll see. I say that now, but if he makes a few control mistakes or positioning mistakes, he would have regretted it. So just a pretty neutral level 1 here. The Malfurion on the side of RRR means the hooked pairings will need to be with the Gravity Laps and the Hammer of Justice. The Ancient Spear could be used. A little bit tougher to make that work. See the teleport immediately here. The Gravity Laps actually hits onto MSG. It's not enough follow-up damage this time, but the solo lane here with Dami on Sonya is just so strong for MVP Miracle.
Looks scary. Whenever you let Dami on that Sonya, it was very powerful for the entire year last year, and even coming back to play after. Sonya did get some buff, but has not been appearing too much compared to other melee assassins like Zeratul, Illidan, but still, with the Poison Spear, which Dami seems to be going with at 7, Sonya still does tons of damage.
Indeed, this is true. Oduk going to come in here with MSG for the picks onto Stitches. No escapes here for Judy, but the heal is real. The burst heal is coming out from Jaehyun. Will keep him alive. They're just gonna retreat back, drops out, gets another few convection stacks there. So far, so good. We'll have a counter on that for you guys, but we'll know when it's completed, and we'll definitely know if he dies, so I'm gonna keep track of that. I'm sure somebody in the Twitch chat is like watching, he's like, I know exactly how many he has, but.
He's counting everything that's on the screen, but you may actually not see some of them on the screen, but we'll know when that quest completes. There's that amazing sound, of course, not for observers, but when you're playing, there's amazing sound and the crazy graphics below your feet.
That's right. Dive again here, this time onto Dami. He's not even concerned about this. He tries to bait them, actually. Charges into them head on. Okay, gravity lapse here for the follow-up stun. The Ancient Spear even connects. This team is coordinated tonight, G-Clef. I mean, that was how you make this composition look broken. The rotation up of Sonya after being 1v3 in the bot lane, still finds the angle, still finds the way in to chain that stun together. 9 convection stacks here for Kel'Thas, nearly halfway there. And MVP Miracle takes a nice lead with this, even though it's just the one pick. Gonna help them control turn-ins, gem possession in their favor as well. 28 already turned in, 18 left. They are very fast approaching that 50 for the first. Nice tongue grab here for Kong, unfortunately out of range though of the turrets.
No turret shots connecting. It's going to limit some damage. Also, inner light for Cassia, I guess she's thinking about Greymane coming in whenever she's rooted. Will cancel a lot of the damage, the auto attack damage from Greymane. And then talking about diving in. Here's MSG with 3 men knock out with the CC, but just not much damage following up. Actually, Sniper gets tons of damage, but healed right back up from Jaehyun.
The minion wave was here. It was tough to actually execute that. The first initial burrow charge not perfect either, just coincidentally. You can respect RRR's attempts here to try to find these angles to come in, hit these big stuns. They have a comp that can dive like this, but unfortunately, even though you could see in theory why it would work, it just has not for them. Coordination's still lacking. Here's the hook, and look at this coordination. That's how you make a coordinated pick happen. Sniper will try to walk out of this one alive with his passive, gets away. Everyone survives on RRR as well. The CC's coming in. Really well done for Miracle. HGC with the teleport to dodge that hook.
If they focused a little more, they could have got a kill, but instead, they decided to go to protect Sniper from going down. What a team. This is a team game, and you need to save your teammates instead of looking for the kill. They made the right choice, I think. Cassia still living, can provide much more poking, delay all the channeling, and they got the channeling this time. First web weaver is coming for MVP Miracle.
12 now convection stacks as we do see Burn Flesh coming over here for level 7. Going to be very aggressively building into that queue. If we go late game, we'll see that flamethrower as well as Fury of the Sunwell. Good hook here onto Sniper though. He's gonna go down. They just didn't have the room to save him this time. So finally, we're starting to see this composition. They've tried many, many times. I think that was probably the 4th attempt to dive in and get a pick, and they finally are successful onto Sniper's Cassia. Dami in the bot lane doing some split pushing with the Web Weavers. Finally be met down there with the Haka. 16 of 20, so close.
4 more, that's very close. And I don't think Crazy Moving is going to die anytime soon. That's 2 more. Only 2 more will complete the quest to 100 plus more damage every single time on this Q.
Kong is just trying to do what he can. He wants
they
to
are
look for the
coming
grab.
around.
They are going to try to flank this. Let's see the angle that he hits here. Unfortunately, MSG does not hit anyone with a burrow charge. The Impale is a double. Not enough, and look at this gravity lapse. MSG is blown to bits there. The living bomb going on to him. You see the burrow coming up for Kong here as Dami dives in. Will he be taken out by a dive for Oduck? He does eventually get the kill here. Didn't have go for the throat, but still was able to get it. Convection's done now. That's huge for Crazy Moving, doing so much extra damage now. Kong barely survives here, but the turnaround is real. Are finally having an edge in this game. They take a kill lead. They take an EXP lead. They won the team fight.
They finally won a team fight, and of course, Dami overextending up just a little bit. And also, Crazy Moving, I want to have a replay of that team fight. Crazy Moving went way away from the team fight in case he dies, because he had the convection at level 1. He knew he didn't want to die, and he did lose a lot of damage because he was so far away from the beginning of the fight. I think that costed them big, and RRR really, the focusing was on point. They got the pick, they really had their point, and we've never seen a team fight like this happening from RRR, but they have finally done it.
Yeah. 10 is up for them first. This allows them to get the safe web weaver turn in, so it's a 1-for-1 for turn-ins now. Look at this hook, though. Doesn't have Ancient Spear until a few more seconds, so they're not going to be able to do anything else with this, but already hurting Kong. It's quite significant. The convection stack's already done. By the way, we have Leap coming in here for Sonya. Convection stack's being done, which means Crazy Moving can clear everything so much better. That's really the key of that last fight, is he was able to get out and live to get the convection stacks completed. But RRR continues to take a lead in this game now. Might be the first ones to take out a fort as well if this continues. Just gonna rotate away now. Sonya's clearing the top lane, trying to catch up in EXP.
And Sleep, and that's, I guess that's also a reason why Liming went for Wave of Force also, because they do have a dive comp. Sonya can dive in all the time. So also Cassia can bend in to take out Liming, so Wave of Force will of course help her as a defensive tool to dodge away from all the danger.
So we're going to take that mercenary camp at the same time, a little bit faster in fact than RRR. Both teams dead even in gem possession, 48 as I say it. Miracle gets the extra 2 for 50. They're actually going to get these turn-ins as well because they had the faster camp. RRR was taking the camp a little bit slower. Miracle identifies this. This is huge for them. There's a lot more tools for Engage now that they have Leap on their side. The Divine Shield as well can allow Sonya to get that stun, but then also get right into the middle of the team fight and be protected. Lock them in while the Phoenix comes in, and Cassia uses her heroic as well to do that extra damage. The leaps are going to be quite critical. If they fail a leap as well, that could be a big backfire on the side of Miracle.
If Sonya leaps in and gets Twilight Dream, then maybe Tongue Grab from Dehaka. They do have burst damage, so Dami also has to be careful. It has to be a perfect leap with the Divine Shield or so. If she dives alone, I think she will also fall behind in the team fight too.
Okay, this is tense now. The rotation up for MVP Miracle. Oduk in such an aggressive position. Had he been hooked, that might have been it. Crazy moving right next to Judy. See this scouting drone taken out. Looking for the hook onto EGZ. Dodges the impale. They just want to get the turn in, it looks like. Trying to get a pick to secure that. Sniper starts it. No one's nearby. Hey, Kong comes in, but too late. And that will be another red web weaver here. Has to burrow as well. Here's the hook. Will we see Divine Shield? Not necessary just yet. And he's actually now put into the cocoon. Can't use it anyways. Will need to come out in just a moment. There he goes. The Phoenix will zone them out, but key here is the web weaver push will begin, and this is going to allow Miracle to catch up and hit 13.
Also use the adaptation just to take away all the damage coming out from Sonya, and also Cocoon used. So if they could have saved all their heroics and actually used this web weaver push to actually make a team fight because they have a lead. This time they are on the same talent level, 13 to 13. They've never had this before, but now they do. Maybe with the adaptation, they could have made it into a team fight with the Cocoon because they do have the advantage, using the web weaver in to make a small room to go in and having the MVP Miracle to let them just off guard for a little bit and go in. But this time it looks a little bit tough right now.
That does. Incendiary Elixir will finish here. Yet again, around 10 minutes. It's going to be some extra bonus here for DPS coming out. Save the spot fort just barely. Or do they? One minion's still trying to change my mind. EGZ does get the last minute heal here from Tekaluk, but it's a bit too late. Dami escapes here, not even needing Jaehyun's Divine Shield. You're very rarely seeing Jaehyun use his heroics tonight because the self-sustain coming out this time on Dami, the Dami Illidan self-sustain, it's just all been too good. They don't have enough for another web weaver turn in, but they're going to turn in what they can so they don't have any gems carried. Game's still pretty even, though. Miracle takes the lead back with this. Do take out 2 forts. They're only a little bit ahead in EXP. And this is how this map works in Korea. It usually goes for the late game. RRR could definitely make a big comeback with EXP with all the extra catch-up EXP they have from those forts.
They do have a lot more gems to come. Actually, a lot of CC coming out onto Dami, but not enough following up damage. HGC was dead and she had to come back from home.
Oh, look at the CCs coming through. Verdant Sphere there even used on the Gravity Lapse just to make sure, but Sonya will get taken out here now, overextending. The Divine Shield not used there. Sniper is going to be the next target. He's got the Divine Shield now. Will help him escape, but it's not going to change the fact that Dami's already out of the fight. This is almost certainly going to be another Web Weaver for RRR.
Dami was looking for a chance to leap actually out of the fight there, I think, but HGC teleported in with the Calamity damage at the very end, did get that reset. What a great play coming off from Triple R. They will also get the Web Weavers time to turn things around as they are looking for their very first victory on the Spider Queens.
So this could actually give them the big boost in EXP to take 16, and maybe if they get another pick here onto Judy, it could give them a keep wall. Not gonna happen as he does pop his dampen magic there. Absorbs so much of that damage, you guys could see it happen live in action there. So the commitment here is gonna be on mid, with both the solo laners going to top and bottom. Sonya in the top, Dahaka in bottom. Gonna get the second fort there. Sonya just trying to help soak for EXP to deal with that top Web Weaver. So you can see here on the mini-map, she does deal with it. It's going to be the bot one that now they need to rotate over and eliminate. Level 16 advantage here for RRR. One's locking in their talent choices.
You know this.
Jaehyun gets hooked.
And Uther is a target, gets instantly deleted. Not actually off the map, but still. That's a kill for sure, and he has to use Phoenix as a defensive tool now.
Didn't use his Divine Shield on himself. Feels like Jaehyun is not hitting the RRR on the Divine Shield on the Ancestrals today. Holding on to it. So they do damage the keep wall. They get that fort. Maintain a pretty nice EXP lead. Dahaka immediately goes top. It's going to start working on that to get some more EXP. They get the bot push. It's going to start pressuring the keep wall if no one deals with it. This is absolutely a game RRR can win. It looks like the momentum is back in their favor. They're going to grab another hook here onto Judy. He is just stun-locked to death. The Cocoon as well. Sniper desperately trying to save Crazy Moving. Will he get out? Eats that orb damage. They're turning this around though. The huge triple leap. MSG has to burrow charge away.
And that's not going to be enough. There's also a tongue grab, another Twilight Dream, but Divine Shield perfectly on time onto Sniper. Actually saves him from going down. What a play. If Jaehyun self Divine Shielded before that, this might have been crazy one team fight for Triple R, but that saved him from going down for sure.
Definitely so. The bot push continues. It's going to be another Web Weaver here for RRR. Fighting their way into perhaps their first win of the tournament. So we just see this was finally dealt with before it could do any real damage to the keep. It got the keep wall only. That's going to allow the bot Web Weaver to push directly towards the keep. Going to have a pretty big jump there. That's why you have Dami down there to already start clearing that up and dealing with that. If they lose these forts, it'll put RRR definitely to have 21st, but they want to protect the keep. Here's the dive in, coming in. It looks like this might be the first pick on the Crazy Moving. He's caught here. Does a ton of damage though, and they get the double. Coming out, that Fen damage was crazy. Not enough respect given to Sniper. That's actually going to be the triple. Sick turnaround there. So much focus on the Crazy Moving, they just couldn't get the kill.
And here comes Dami. Ice Block is just going to buy some time. There's no way that Take a Look can escape from there. Very good engage coming off from RRR because Dami was missing from the lane. Dami had to take care of the Web Weavers from the bottom. He decided to come up later, but Li Ming dived in, took all the damage from Cassia there. That was unfortunate, and losing Li Ming was the biggest upset for RRR there.
Okay, so this push doesn't get a keep. That's what they were looking for. This gives Miracle the opportunity to catch up in EXP. Maybe they can get 21st. It seemed so far away while those last few picks were going. The picks onto Judy. Stitch is not really having an escape. I have a problem there. So finally RR identifies this, has been looking for those picks, and this is the first one that really backfired for them. Miracle holding so many gems. Good they were able to convert this now into another Web Weaver push. Their first target looks to be the top fort. Well, as they say that, they're going to go and clear these mercenaries first. The top fort will help them get towards 20, which could then maybe allow them to at least either during this push or after this push, try to threaten one of the keeps. All keep walls still up, so that's pretty optimistic right now for Miracle. The bot push is actually pretty far too.
The pressure's all off now. It's on to Miracle. It's not the worst. They can soak a little bit more and wait for their own 24 RRR, and they can try to team fight after because they do have the cocoon. It takes we saw it took some time to actually.
Oh, look at that hook!
No follow-up.
No follow-up.
Gladly for Kong, MSG, I mean.
That was a max range hook there. Not even a fishing hook, max range hook. It was just so well done. So, as you said, they want to try to turtle up to take their own 20 fight, but there's not that much time given to them here. Miracle's already starting to threaten. They had to pull off Kong over here to help deal with Dami's split push in the bot lane. It's going to be a dead keep wall. 20 is available. Bulwark coming out here. Hardened Shield. Flamethrower, of course, going to be super huge for Kael'Thas's range. Crazy Moving able to do so much more damage at safety. So, look at this. You can see his Flame Strike's going to come out at such high range. He has the double, of course. He's got the Convection stacks, Burn Flesh. Makes it so much more difficult for RRR to position. Gives him a lot more sieging power to try to knock down these keeps.
Kong had to use adaptation for the safety, also Wave of Force used to knock them over a little bit to buy time. They still need at least 20 to 25 seconds to actually soak in to 20. That will be their chance. Adaptation well used. Kong's Dehaka play, I gotta say, has been the most impressive hero that we've been seeing so far until today.
He's definitely been stepping it up. I have to give credit to, of course, to MSG's Arthas, but Kong, he looked depressed. He looked unmotivated before we went into this series. He looked upset, emotional, but when the game turned on, he turned it on too. Divine Shield used in this fight already, this time onto Crazy Moving to protect him. They turn the fight, kill Nubarok first. Dami comes in with a big dive there. Oh, the hook over the wall, despite the bolt. He panicked, pushes that Twilight Dream, but it's not going to save him. It will save his teammates, but this should be bot keep going down with MVP Miracle getting those picks.
That was just an annihilation of MSG, of course, overstepping a little bit, and the entire positioning of RRR was very far away when Miracle was all staying in together and Dami leaping in at the perfect moment there. What a play, and stunning too, and taking out a lot of the damage. Leeming just had to back off. There was no way. Also, a hook to bring back Malfurion into the team fight.
EGT trying to get greedy here as well with the positioning. Is going to get punished. Miracle saw that a mile away. The hook is real, and that is a dead Leeming, and that is a dead keep. Web Weavers pushing top lane, mid lane. Kong having trouble dealing with Dami in the solo mid for a moment here. But this is going to be the rotation up. They're looking to cut him off. If they get the kill here, it's another keep. Uses his burrow here to try to escape right now. Down he goes. Sniper diving into MSG as well, pretty aggressively, but he's got Jaehyun right next to him. Bulwark available here for the Divine Shield. Does get cocooned very briefly. They are pushing all the way to the core now with these Web Weavers.
Taking core here. They still have Divine Shield available for any members. That's going to go down a lot onto the health, maybe onto Judy, but this is going to be core for sure. Both Web Weavers on the core now with all the 5 members from MVP Miracle. RRR, 2 members left. Tucker Luke is looking for his life, and MSG is blinded and running off to the side as core is going down 10%, and that's going to be game and the end of the series going to MVP Miracle.
Well played by MVP Miracle this evening. The 3-0 victory. Back-to-back here. Very impressive play. Good synergy, good teamwork. RRR showed signs of life in that Tomb of the Spider Queen game, though. They had some really good engages. The flanking, the targeting of Judy there was what they decided to go with. It was their plan of action every single time. But unfortunately, in the late game, they lost the fights that they needed to win, and the turnarounds were real. Crazy Moving, for me, was the MVP of that last game. Got his convection stacks up, really good usage of the gravity lapses in the team fights. Every time the hook came in, he was there to get the follow-up stun. The DPS he presented in that fight with the burn flash, the flamethrower later on in the game, really just carried it, and I'm happy we're seeing the Kael'Thas come back, G-Clef.
Yeah, of course, Crazy Moving landed everything, and he finishes convection stacks at 10. not even losing once of all of his stacks. But Judy coming into play today, I think he was very solid also. His hooks were very accurate. He was waiting for the perfect hook like the teleport from Li Ming or the burrows from Dehaka to hook after all the escapes are done. And really perfect use, and the follow-ups were not really so perfect all the time from Miracle, but the hooks were real, and his Stitches play was awesome tonight.
I'm excited to see as the meta develops, because we'll see what heroes, what tanks actually become super meta later on. But Judy's always been a great ETC player,
That's
so
right.
if ETC makes a comeback, that's other things that they can rely on from him. So yeah, it looked really solid. And overall, for the drafting that we saw for RRR, I was more impressed with it, honestly, than the drafting we saw from Blossom this evening. And improvements have definitely been made. If they can play that well on that map, despite having Kong with his head in his hands, the team morale seemed very low. I think that as long as they can continue to improve week to week, match to match, maybe that they end up getting at least top 6, maybe end up trying to fight for playoffs. But it's so early now. So I know that they went 0-6 on the first 2 days against good teams like Mighty and Miracle,
Yes.
but we're just at the beginning of the season, so don't count them out yet, esports fans.
Of course, first 2 matches losing all the games is it has to be very tough for the team, as you saw from Kong's face, especially as he was the shot caller. Basically, he does the drafting. He's like Noblesse in the team. He does the drafting and the shot calling and the frontline tank player. But let's hear it from the MVP tonight. Let's see who it's going to be from MVP Miracle.
Good question. I get the feeling it's going to be Judy, but it could be Crazy Moving. He'd be my MVP for the last game at least. Could be Dami as well. The Sonya play was pretty impressive. It's what he's famous for. A lot of different players. They're all the MVPs. Just bring all 5 of them up there.
자, 저는 이 선수가
So
나올
it's
거
actually going to
알고
be
있습니다.
Crazy
MVP
Moving
미라클
himself.
신무빙
We're
선수와
talking about some
함께합니다.
Kale
안녕하세요.
Thos here.
We're bringing all
자,
the captains up
대류.
first.
아, 네.
6분 8초. 와, 대단하십니다. 오늘 뭐 전략적으로 좀 들고 나오신
6
거세요?
minutes and 8
아니,
seconds. That was one of the
마파는
best,
그냥
quickest games.
평소에 잘
For- to
못하는
complete the
조합을
convection?
해보자고. 저희가 누더기 조합을 잘 못하거든요.
네.
We're not really
그래서 그냥
the best with the
네,
stitches come at
해보자고
all.
해서
음.
그냥 즉흥적으로 전부 다 뽑았어요.
It
마지막
was
판에.
그
very
즉흥적인 게 그 모습이었어요. 그렇게 잘했어요.
네.
it was very on the fly for our picks at the
많이
end.
짜증냈는데
네.
네, 내용 답답하게 굴러가가지고
대류가 안 모여. 대류가 안 모여. 그런
아니
느낌으로.
대리는 되게 빨리 차였는데 그
My convection
좀
stacks were
누더기
completed pretty
켄타스가
quickly,
호흡이 잘 맞아야 되는데
but
좀 개판이어가지고 셋이서
our follow-ups
사실,
with the
네,
hook was
대류가
not so
딱 쌓이는
complete.
시점에서
perfect.
팀원들이 한타를
음.
많이 졌잖아요. 근데 그때 얘기가 어떻게 나왔어요?
You guys actually lost few of the team fights
저는
against
짜증내고
the
있고.
opponent.
네.
나머지는 그냥 대를 쌓였으니까 천천히 하면
We were just thinking, well, we at least got
저는 안
convection stacks from the
죽었거든요,
beginning. We can just take
자,
it
근데
slow
이제
and come
이번에
back.
이제 팀에서 이제 좀 리빌딩이 좀 됐잖아요.
네.
팀에 이제 새로운 선수들과 이제 합을 맞추게 되는데 이제 이런 합이라든지 그런 것들을 좀 어떻게
And with the new teams coming into the team, how are your teamwork coming along?
가장 잘 맞았던
네.
서포터라서
And
And of course, Jihyun, he was
주디 선수를
the
상당히
support
기대를
that
많이
worked
했었어요.
with me for a long time, and
사실
the
주디
one
선수가
who
다른
worked
팀
the best
테스트를
with me.
떨어지고
음.
그런 상황에서 저는 우린 테스트 안 본다. 그냥 내가 받아준다. 그래서 그냥 바로 데려온 선수거든요. 주디는 믿음으로.
And
근데
Judy also,
정말 굉장히
he didn't
잘한
even
것
go
같아요.
through the trials. We trusted his play. We knew he was good. He
없어진
just came into the
시점에서
team straight without the
거의
trials.
자기.
네,
아.
채팅이 아닐까.
워낙에 노블레스를 찬양하는 선수 중에 한
예.
선수가 네, 시무빙 선수이기 때문에
I think
노블레스
he has the
선수
potential to be
어떤가요?
one of
지금
the
이렇게
best frontliners
네,
in the world.
히어로즈에서 은퇴를 하게 됐는데
사실 언젠가는 저랑 다시 팀을 하기로 했는데
And they're talking
그게
about Noblesse
올해는
as,
아니었으니까
as he talked.
빨리 사라져 준 게 고맙기도 하고.
He promised Crazy
너무
Moving
많이
that he'll play
해먹으니까.
with on the same team
솔직해요.
later
네.
on, but
네.
근데
he
제가
has
휴가
retired.
때 보는
and
선수가 사실 노블레스
Of course, talking about
없었는데
reality, Crazy Moving is
이제
glad that
지구로
he's
가면서
gone
좀
from the scene,
같이 못 놀게 된
that
게
he doesn't have to
많이
worry
아쉬워요.
about having Noblesse
자,
on the
그럼
other
여기서 이제
team.
아바트로 인터뷰 질문을 하나 해보겠습니다. 자, 두 개가
So now we're going to
있거든요.
hear, of course,
자,
from one of the
미라클 팀원들이
viewers
보기에
from the fan question, in our
홍코노와
avatar
avatar
interview.
interview.
주디와 다미 중 어느 조합이 더 잘 맞나요?
The fan like symbiote.
Compared to Honkono
casters.
Dami and Judy Dami, which
사실
teamwork,
많은
which
분들이
team
홍코노 다미가
works better for you?
엄마 좋아, 아빠 좋아 이런 느낌인데.
약간 되게 민감할 수 있거든요.
예.
그러니까 오랫동안 해왔고
네.
막 짝꿍이라고 생각하시는
Honkono
분들이
Dami, they're
많은데
the duo. They played
안
for a long
맞아요.
time, but
누구랑요?
In fact,
둘이 안 맞아요.
맞아요?
they don't really get along
네.
together.
그 홍코너가 안 맞으면 오히려 주디?
그럼 주디와 다미가 잘 맞는다.
It's
일단
so
주디는 맨 처음
Judy
추천한
Dami
게
pair is the better one.
담이었거든요. 네, 그리고 되게 굉장히 잘 맞아요.
홍코너보단 주디와 담이다.
So I think
좋습니다.
Judy and Dami
그리고
gets along a
이제
lot better
주디
compared to
선수가
Honkono.
여기도 두 번째 질문이었는데 주디 선수가 인터뷰에서 숙소 생활 재밌다라 그랬잖아요.
And also Judy said
이제
he's
숙소
been liking
생활에서
the team
재밌었던
house.
에피소드를 좀 들려달라고
Team house
시청자분들이
environment as this is his first time. Were there any crazy episodes from having Judy inside
제가
inside your
숙소에 없을
house?
때 일이었는데 애들끼리 술을
네.
마시고
When I was not
6층이
in the house.
그게 뭐였지? 그러니까 집이 아니에요.
네.
산책하는 공원 같은 데인데
그쵸.
그 아파트 6층. 근데 거기서 담이가 취해가지고 거기서 쓰러져 있었거든요.
And they were
새벽에.
drinking all together, and Dami was
널브러져
drunk.
있었어요.
And
네.
the sixth floor is
근데
actually
그걸
not an
아무도
apartment; it's like a small
챙겨주고.
park in the middle. And Dami
다른
was just laying on the floor like
경비분이셨나? 그분이
that drunk.
챙기셔가지고 저희 층으로 보내주셨다고 들었는데
정말
And a random person just
수학여행
helped
같은
Dami to
느낌이
come up
너무
from
강하게 드는 게
back to
그러니까
his
휴가
apartment.
때였어요. 휴가 때.
네.
그때.
네.
아니 뭐 당연히 뭐 그럴 수 있을 거라
그렇죠.
생각합니다. 남자들끼리 이렇게 합숙하고
He was
그러면서.
just meditating.
두 번째 질문입니다. 인터뷰 보니까 미라클
In the
숙소
grass
생활이
on the sixth
재밌다고
floor.
하는데
그게
그게 이거네요.
네.
아 죄송합니다. 제가 몰랐네요. 자 이렇게 해서 이제 아바투르 인터뷰를 했고 자 이제
That seems to be a very fun
이번 시즌
episode.
이제 오늘 이제 승리를
Seems like
거두면서 첫
Judy's also
성적이라든지
enjoying his
시작
time.
자체가 상당히 좋은데 앞으로의 좀 각오는 좀
Of
어떠세요?
course, the start is awesome for you
앞으로의
getting 3-0.
각오는 일단
Let's hear it
첫
from
번째가
you going into
성적도
phase 2.
성적인데
네.
성적보다 이제 그만 리빌딩을 하고 싶어요.
Of course,
그러니까
results do matter, but
좀
we want to
다섯 명이서
stop
계속 같이
changing
하고
the roster.
싶은데.
We want to keep it here.
네, 그게 가장 큰 각오일 것 같아요. 그러니까 성적을 물론 좋게 내야 안
네.
이어질 거긴 하지만
Of course,
그냥 좋게 계속
the
가는 거.
relationship between the result and
네.
changing
이건
of the
제가
roster
개인적으로
does
궁금한데
connect, but
아까 그
we want to keep this
인터뷰
roster and
전에
work
이제 촬영할 때
as a
보니까
team, as
우리가
one.
2위를 하겠다고 하는데 1위는 혹시 형제팀 블랙을 생각하신 건가요?
As you said during the interview, you
Black
guys were looking
Lives
for the second place spot,
그쵸, 솔직히
and
말고
we're guessing the first place goes to
L5는
MVP Black.
음,
Of course, MVP Black is a
자기들도 알
very strong
거예요.
team, and L5 is now.
힘들 거라는
네.
거예요.
I don't-
결국 요약하자면
I think they already know,
MVP 두 팀이
too,
1, 2위 먹고
that they can't
나머지는
really
뭐 알아서 하겠지.
be in the top
네.
2 anymore.
자 알겠습니다. 이제 마지막에 이제 팬들에게 하시고 싶으신 말씀이 있다면 한
And
말씀
Crazy Moving, do you have your last words to your fans?
팬분들 네 항상 오랫동안 응원해 주신 분들이 정말 많은데
Of course, there are
네.
lots of fans who has
성적이
been
안
rooting for
나옴에도
us for a
불구하고
long, long time.
계속 좋은 말씀해 주시면서 응원해 주셔서
It's-
감사하고
Thank you for
네,
saying
앞으로는
good
정말
stuff to us all the time and rooting for
정말
us all the time.
이제는
And now
네,
we
저희와
finally,
같이 꽃길 걸을 수 있게
I think
열심히
it's
하겠습니다.
about time for
꽃길
us to
걸으실
walk
겁니다.
into a flower
오늘 승리
path.
진심으로
It's a
축하드리고
literal
앞으로 더욱더 좋은
translation
모습
into a
보이시기
great,
바라겠습니다.
much better journey ahead.
자 이제 경기 결과를 한번
Well, that is going to do it for the interview. Thanks for your translation, G-Clap. It was a 3-0 and a 3-0, so only 3-0s so far in HGC Korea, but we did have a few of the one-sided matches early on here, so I think things will get a little bit cleaner going forward. So, I mean, I feel like RRR definitely showed signs of life, looked better today. Miracle's new rebuilt roster looks good too. And we've almost had all the teams play now. Only MVP Black and L5 are scheduled to play last because they have just recently returned from Sweden. They'll be playing next. So once they play their games, they will, of course, have the opportunity to join the rankings. With a loss today for Blossom, they find themselves at 3-3, dead in the middle of the pack. But everyone else up there tied with first with the 3-0s. Again, as I said at the beginning of the broadcast, this really doesn't mean anything until we're about 2 weeks in. Can't really tell too much from this graphic, but standings are standings.
It does mean a lot, and we're gonna see some much better matches coming up as we have our next matchup. This one is going to be hot. Mighty versus MVP Miracle match 1, and Tempest versus Raven match number 2, as Raven lost H82 and went into Tempest.
That's right.
Now
So
that's good. Both matches, I'm super excited for this one.
gonna have to play against his former team. Mighty will face off against Miracle. That should be a close one in terms of skill from what we've seen from these two teams so far. So Miracle will have their bigger test tomorrow against Mighty. Mighty, the top 3 team, took their 3-0 yesterday. So should be exciting. Do not miss those matches. And of course, as I said yesterday, for those of you who want to watch the EU Overlords, we had the EU finals in Sweden. You could, of course, check them out. They're going to be at this very same channel in a few hours. So you can just leave the stream up on your computer if you want, or you can take a little nap if you want to watch more EU. It comes on in a few hours. For myself and G-Club, it's been a great night of Heroes. We're not done for the weekend yet, though. We'll see you back tomorrow for more HGC Korea. Have a good night.